precisely 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Lal Malavarachi and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. The United Nations has assured Sri Lanka its support to obtain and administer the vaccine for COVID-19. Total COVID-19 deaths recorded in the country reached 183. Recoveries from the virus climbed to 29,300 and the total count to 37,891. Ukraine is ready to explore investment opportunities in Sri Lanka. Rapid antigen tests on those who leave the Western Province borders will continue at 11 locations from today. All flights from the UK will not be allowed to land in Sri Lanka from today. News overseas. New poll is due after Israel unity government crumbles. Local news in detail. Prime Minister's office says the United Nations has assured Sri Lanka its support to obtain and administer the vaccine for COVID-19. The UN resident coordinator Hannah Singer has assured Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa the support of the UN for procuring, distributing and administering the vaccine for COVID-19 at a special meeting with the Prime Minister at the Temple Trees yesterday. World Health Organization representative Dr. Razia Pence and UNICEF representative Tim Sutton were also present at this meeting with the Prime Minister Rajapaksa to discuss the UN's critical support to government's pandemic response. They focused especially on sourcing 20% of the vaccine requirement via COVAX and World's Facility for Universal Access to COVID-19 Vaccines, a donation scheme to share doses of vaccines with developing countries to vulnerable groups. They discussed the government's preparedness plan on deployment and vaccination once the vaccines are made available to ensure it will be utilized efficiently. During the discussion with the Prime Minister, the UN representatives expressed confidence that Sri Lanka can be assured of receiving this vaccine. Ms. Singer emphasized that the United Nations is committed to supporting Sri Lanka in this challenging time. Both sides agreed that once a large number of COVID-19 vaccine is delivered, it should be administered immediately and the approach to administering the relevant work should be initiated by the government. Total COVID-19 deaths recorded in Sri Lanka reached 183 yesterday as 2 persons fell victim to the virus. Department of Government Information said the first victim is a 15-year-old from Dankotua area. He had been transferred from Apeksha Hospital in Maharagama to Infectious Diseases Hospital where he passed away. The cause of the death was cited as COVID-19 pneumonia, blood infection and leukemia. The other victim, a woman aged 72 years, died of COVID-19 pneumonia while at her home in Colombo 7. The Health Ministry said that COVID-19 infections registered in Sri Lanka crossed 38,000 mark as 427 more persons were tested positive yesterday. As per epidemiology unit data, the total number of COVID-19 infections confirmed in the country to date now stands at 38,059. Recoveries from the virus, meanwhile, climbed to 29,300 yesterday, with 618 more patients returning to health. However, 8,578 active cases are still under medical care at selected hospitals and treatment centers located across the island. Sri Lanka has also witnessed 181 deaths related to COVID-19. Meanwhile, police spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana says random rapid antigen tests on those who leave Western Province borders will continue at 11 locations from today. Random rapid antigen tests will be carried out at expressways as well. 11 persons crossing the Western Province borders have been tested positive so far. Ukraine is ready to explore investment opportunities in Sri Lanka. At a virtual meeting held in the Sri Lankan embassy in Turkey recently, Deputy Foreign Minister of Ukraine Dmitry Zenik said that Ukraine businessmen are keen on investing in Sri Lanka. The Turkey Embassy and Sri Lanka Export Development Board is currently coordinating individual B2B meeting between Sri Lankan and Turkish companies starting from next week. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
Continuing with more stories, Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka said that they will be suspending all flights from UK over fears of the new strain of coronavirus from today. Chairman of the authority, Upul Dharmadasa, said the decision was made to prevent the new coronavirus strain entering the country. The new coronavirus strain spreading over 40 countries, including the UK. Accordingly, all flights from the UK will not be allowed to land in Sri Lanka. Vehicular movement between Galala and Manampitiya on the Polonnaruwa-Batticaloa trunk road is restricted due to floods caused by heavy rain, Disaster Management Centre said. They said the road that leads to the Somavatiya temple is closed due to the flood situation. That's local news.
Darling, our daughter has top O-level results. Do you know what this means?
Yes, just 3 years and she'll be going abroad for her degree.
For which we'll need a bank loan.
But is a normal loan the smartest option?
What else?
The smartest way is to start an HDFC Smart Goals account.
Let your child begin their degree with no delays. Start an HDFC Smart Goals account. Call 2356 888.
Honey, you're so smart.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Another main news story, the Pharmacology Committee of the Ayurveda Department has given approval to the anti-COVID-19 concoction prepared by Dhammika Bandara of Kagol. Co-Cabinet spokesman, Plantations Minister Dr. Ramesh Pathiran has said that the findings of the trials carried out by the Pharmacology Department are scheduled to be submitted to the Ethical Review Committee today for ethical clearance. After that, it will be subject to a clinical trial. Pharmaceutical Production, Supply and Regulation State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumane is currently working on a proper trial on this anti-COVID tonic.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
On Watchlight, Kalpitiya Kandakuliya Eco-Friendly Tourism Foundation states that the Kalpitiya tourist zone is now open for local tourists after nearly 9 months. Tourists now have the rare opportunity to watch large pods of dolphins as this is the onset of the season. Vessels entering the sea for this purpose are sterilized and individuals are to follow the regular guidelines being imposed with regard to COVID-19. Moving on to world news headlines. New poll is due after Israel unity government crumbles. EU urges countries to lift UK travel bans. Coronavirus spreads to Antarctic research station. World news in detail. Israel to hold its fourth elections in 2 years after the two main parties in its unity government failed to meet a deadline in a row over state budgets. Voters will return to the polls in March after 12 months after the last round. Two previous elections were inconclusive, resulting in a rare government of national unity. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, on trial for alleged corruption, is hoping to return to office for a sixth time. The EU's executive branch, the European Commission, has called on member states to lift travel bans imposed against the UK amid fears of a new COVID strain. The non-binding recommendation was put forward ahead of a meeting of ambassadors from the 27-member bloc. But with EU countries free to set their own rules on border controls, they may continue with their own policies. France and the UK, meanwhile, said they had reached an agreement to ease restrictions. Finally, on world news, coronavirus has reached the Antarctic continent, which had to so far be free of COVID-19. The Chilean army has reported 36 cases at its Bernardo O'Higgins research station on the Antarctic Peninsula. The 26 of whom the military personnel and 10 maintenance workers have been evacuated to Chile. The news comes just days after Chile's Navy confirmed 3 cases on a ship which had taken supplies and personnel to the research station. That's on world news. Moving on to development news. Minister Johnston Fernando says the second phase of the Central Expressway from Mirigama to Potuara will be opened before 31st of March next year. The 40-kilometer stretch has been given to local contractors for 137 billion rupees. The minister said that 15 contractors have been given the road stretch by dividing it into 4 sections. That's on development news. Moving on to sports news. Superstars from around the world are confirmed to play in Abu Dhabi T10 in the capital of the United Arab Emirates. The 8 teams are taking guard at the Zayed Cricket Stadium for the 4th edition of the tournament and second season in Abu Dhabi from January 28 to February 6, 2021. Abu Dhabi T10 will see world's best take part, including the universe of boss Chris Gale, the 6-hitting West Indian machine Andre Russell, Pakistan's Shahid Afridi. That's on sports news. And on business news, the Central Environmental Authority yesterday reiterated that the ban of manufacturing and selling certain single-use plastic consumer items will take effect from 1st of January next year in a bid to make Sri Lanka free of plastic and polythene waste. Accordingly, the manufacturing of earbuds having plastic stem, popularly known as cotton buds, inflatable toys, sachets which are having capacity of 20 ml or 20 gram or below, filling or formulation of agrochemicals or pesticide in plastic bottles made of PET and PVC are banned from the 1st of January.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta, did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And on economic news, the Agriculture Minister has started supplying vegetables directly from the farmers to the Narayanpeta Economic Centre. Under the new program, vegetables will be directly bought from farmers through an active mechanism implemented by the ministry and sell them to the traders at the economic centres, and only transport charges will be charged. These vegetables should be sold at concessionary prices.
Congratulations on your promotion. It will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And on the weather update, the Met Department says prevailing showery condition is expected to continue further over northern and eastern parts of the country. Showers will occur at times in northern, eastern, north central, central and over provinces and in Hambantota district. Heavy falls above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in eastern and over provinces and in Polonnaru, Matale and Nuwara districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur elsewhere and heavy falls above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places. With that weather update, it's time for us to conclude the morning bulletin of news, and it's back to Chandima this morning.